My apologies, man. I'm glad y'all be checking me. I know I'll be late sometimes. I'm sorry. I be gathering my information last minute. Well, not really last minute, but I try to get a lot done between the time my son go to sleep and 10:30. So I try to get a lot done in between that. And sometimes that takes time. So, I got a little routine. He go to bed at 8, and then I gotta gather all my things together for the episode at 10:30. So I appreciate y'all for always being so patient and supportive. But definitely welcome in. Welcome in. It's been a couple of days, so I definitely missed the Yap community. But like someone referred to my Yap session earlier, is Yap o'clock. That was the first time I heard that before. That was quite interesting. But I'll take it. So but I appreciate y'all for joining. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Yap. I am your host, of course, Jay, the professional yapper himself. Um, and make sure you hit the like button on your way in. If you new to the channel, do not be afraid to hit the subscribe button. You don't have to if you don't want to. That's fine. But I would appreciate it if you do. We're on the road to 22K, and I appreciate all the support along the way. And y'all see the map is growing. The map is growing in the back. So don't forget, if you're new, don't forget to drop your state so that way you could be added to the back. Talking to my TikTok family as well. Don't be afraid to drop your state so we can add it to the back, or your country, whatever it is. Because we're growing. We're growing. And some people have been supporters for quite some time. Some people have been supporters in this brand new journey of YouTube. So whenever we cross paths, whether it was TikTok, YouTube, or now X, because we are over there too, don't be afraid to just throw your state out there so I can also show my love and gratitude to you for supporting the channel. So we have a lot going on. We crossing the waters, we crossing the world. So it's a lot. And all I can do is definitely be grateful knowing that everybody from around the world is coming together and just providing this safe space for everybody to talk to and yap about absolutely whatever. I think one of the things that, again, I would say is unique about this channel that we share together is I am not really that professional. So it is not I don't have this boom, boom, boom in order. We just go off straight vibes. The show is straight vibes. Whatever is going on is, I would probably say if we want to compare it to a channel, it's probably similar to Coach Colin, where it's just vibes, just yapping. It ain't too much seriousness going on. We talk about some serious topics. We try to have fun with it as well, but it's definitely not a strict program over here. We go off vibes, we have fun, we create a safe space. So I appreciate y'all for joining, and do not forget to drop your state. Did you pin in North Carolina? Yes, I did. I did pin in North Carolina. I can't go over every single one of them, but I know we got, Australia, Scotland, Japan, New Zealand, got a couple of South Africa, another country in Africa, the UK. Oh my gosh, America is flooded. We got St. Lucia. We got a couple in Canada, California, Idaho, one of the Dakotas, New Orleans, Georgia, Alabama, Missouri, Michigan, Maryland, West Virginia, Virginia. It's crazy. It's crazy. I can't go through them all, but I appreciate it, and I will continue to keep adding them. South Carolina, yes, it's on there. Maine is not on there, I believe. I need to add that. Vermont is on there though. So I got some of the New England. I need to add a Pennsylvania. So definitely keep dropping them. I promise y'all throughout the day, I literally go through all the comments. I filter them by state, TikTok, and YouTube, and I just go through putting the pen down, get my little yarn right here, get it all together, and I get it going. So definitely do that. Leave a comment at the end, do that. But we got a lot to talk about today. A lot to talk about, a lot of interesting things that has gone on since what is today? Thursday? When the last time we was live? I think it was Monday. Yeah, I think it was Monday. A lot is going on. And the things that we plan on talking about tonight, because again, this is all vibes here. But the things that we plan on talking about tonight is the Un-F America tour. They dropped a documentary, which is honestly amazing. You know, I don't side with either side or either side, however you guys, wherever you're from and how you pronounce that. I don't side with either side as far as left and right. However, the facts are the facts. So I don't really care about who's dropping the documentary. As long as they speaking some facts and some truth, I'm willing to listen. Or maybe not facts, but as long as they are dropping some compelling things that interest me, I am willing to listen, no matter who you are. So they dropped a documentary today exposing TPUSA. If you're unfamiliar with the Un-F America tour, they are pretty much the opposite of Turning Point. They are somebody that pretty much go against Turning Point, and they butt heads with each other. It's kind of like the Democratic / liberal side for like a Turning Point USA. So they dropped a documentary today on Turning Point USA, exposing Turning Point USA of creating fake chapters. And I love it because I think that is something that we can agree on. The Un-F America tour is that I think we all equally don't like TPUSA right now. I think it's hilarious on how the death of Charlie Kirk and the weirdo of Erica Franz-Faye has brought everybody together on both sides that I think we can equally agree that she is in fact a weirdo. And it don't matter what side you come from, man, woman, wherever, left, right, red, blue. I think everybody can come together in the entire world and say something is off about that woman. And that's where we are right now. The Un-F America tour is going after Turning Point USA. And they dropped a short documentary on episode 1 that we honestly will probably go through the whole thing today because they talk about some fake chapters. And I screenshotted. You're going to see the video. But one of the fake chapters that they created, I screenshotted because I knew Turning Point USA was going to go in and delete it. And I believe they did. So we'll go through that today. We're also going to talk about the paver that paved over the crime scene. He shares his testimony and his story on what happened. We're talking about, Charlie got done in like Wednesday, whatever happened to him. It happened on Wednesday. Then, we all should know that the pavers ended up coming in over the weekend on like a Sunday and paved over the crime scene. So those pavers, those contractors, that person that I guess owns the company, he was there. He shares his testimony on what happened, who called him, what was the vibes like, what did they say, and all of that. So we're going to go through that video as well because I thought that was a great another perspective that we can add to our side as somebody that was like, something was off about this. So we're going to go through those two things. And it's gonna be a fun night. I got my energy drink, so definitely buckle up because we got a lot to talk about. So first things first, let me go through a little bit of the comments before we get to it. What's up? What's up? Max J, of course, always watching from Illinois. Thank you for fighting for truth for our Charlie. Absolutely, it will not stop. I had somebody actually say that the other day. They was like, bro, you didn't even support Charlie when he was alive. So who am I to talk about Charlie right now? And I thought that was like quite interesting because I think people still don't understand the impact that Charlie's death made on the entire world. People don't understand it. And I'm like, you're proving my point. Little do you know you're proving my point. I didn't even know the guy outside of his name, right? I knew his name because I heard of his name through Candace. So all I knew was his name. I didn't know what he stood for. I didn't know what he debated on. None of that. But once he died, I think, again, we talk about it in these episodes all the time about like how everybody could probably remember exactly where you were when it happened, when you saw the video, when you got the first text, whatever it was, because it was just horrific. And that day changed everybody's lives forever, whether it was for the good or for the worse. And for me, it was an eye opener for like a lot of different things, especially when it comes to the politics, especially when it comes to how corrupt our government and administration, how corrupt they are. And that was one thing that I was just like, I didn't appreciate that happening in broad daylight in front of all those kids, right? So we saw it from our phones. Most of us saw it from our phones. I immediately thought of all the kids that was there because that was obviously on purpose, whoever was involved. So I thought about how crazy that was that they did that in front of all those kids. And then I immediately looked into who Charlie Kirk was, went down the rabbit hole of who he was, absolutely loved the type of guy he was. Um, and then when I realized how so many people aren't fighting for what actually happened to him, fighting for the truth, man, I got invested because I was like, bro, this dude was a great dude. He didn't deserve that. Then obviously you have the different perspectives of a husband, a best friend, a friend in general, um, a father. Like you have so many different perspectives that you can relate to this guy on outside of certain talking points that you might disagree with him on. So yeah, I was trying to tell that guy that. I was like, dude, that's the point. I barely knew the guy, but when he died, something changed inside me forever. Where I'm just no, I'm not gonna allow the government to do something like that to the to an American citizen, and we just move on. With JFK, one, we wasn't even alive. Most of us, I wasn't. I can't speak for everybody. I wasn't alive. Two, there was no social media. So whatever the government told you is what it was. Now we have social media. Because of that, we're able to identify that COVID was fake. We already been saying that, how COVID was a hoax and all this other stuff. We're able to identify when the government is trying to have a one up on us. So I'm going to use all of my resources as being a millennial slash Gen Zer. I'm 97, so I'm right on the line. I'm a first Gen Zer. So I'm like, yeah, this definitely is not going to happen right in front of my face. And I just sit back and be cool with our government being so corrupt and taking out our own citizens, and we just do nothing about it. Like we just saw Thomas Massey, right? I'm not a huge person on the voting. I'm not voting for anybody anymore until I feel confident in one of these candidates. But with Thomas Massey was similar to that. Like we literally watched him lose his election or lose his race because he didn't take foreign money. Like they are that arrogant with it. They are that arrogant and cocky now. And this only happened since Charlie died. When Charlie died, this shifted the entire world. Now these people are like, yeah, if you take foreign money, you're gonna win. And they do. So it's absolutely crazy. But let me not get too far into yapping because I know I'm 15 minutes in already. And some of y'all are probably like, bro, shut up. So I will. Let me see. Here we go. All right, so the Unf America tour. Let's take a look at what they have to say in their documentary about Turning Point USA. And it is going to be very interesting for the ones that haven't seen it before. I kind of figured a lot of this. I told y'all before, like I used to be in a cult. I used to work for a cult, for a pyramid scheme. So I understand how to kind of like hide money a little bit, disguise stuff, and all that. So take a listen. Let me get it pulled up really quick. It's not that long. It's a 9-minute clip. So oh my gosh. See that? Look, TikTok family. I try to join y'all in on stuff. I really do. Cause some people don't like going to different platforms, and that's fine. I'm versatile. So I don't mind bringing up the TikTok family. But I just got flagged for spreading misinformation. I didn't even say anything yet. It's been 15 minutes and I have not said anything yet about anybody. I will at some point in this show. I will, but I haven't yet, and I've already been flagged. I got suspended on TikTok for 3 days, 2.5 days already. I just got out of TikTok jail yesterday, and they're gonna suspend me again. So go ahead and get ready for that. I haven't even said anything yet. All right, this is the Un-F America Tour documentary on Turning Point USA being exposed for the frauds that they are.
I was handed 12 chapters, and only 7 of them were actually real. The other 5, I found out, the previous field reps' family members had pretended to open up a chapter so that they could claim those chapters on campuses, and then the rest were legitimately fake contact information, bounced back, texts bounced, calls failed. Nobody is actually verifying the students' identities.
Please welcome Turning Point USA CEO and Chair, Erica Kirk.
Turning Point USA says it's building a movement.
I'm telling you now, I'm hoping that they're playing music in the background. I'm hoping that it's licensed. I'm licensed. I hope that we don't get flagged or copyright or any of that. So if the music kind of gets too loud, I might mute it here and there. So it's not the video going in and out. It's just me trying to strategically watch this video without this music playing so loud.
A movement of students, a movement of ideas, a movement that spans thousands of campuses across the United States.
The goal is for these clubs to be in every high school across the state.
In its own filings, the organization claims to operate more than 1,800 campus chapters and to be active on more than 3,000 high school and college campuses.
Great question. Start a Turning Point USA chapter.
It says its program reaches millions of students. And behind that movement is money. In a single year, Turning Point USA spent more than $20 million on what it calls its field program, the part of the organization responsible for building and supporting these chapters. Altogether, it raises more than $80 million annually. That money comes from donors who are told they're funding something very specific, a nationwide grassroots network of young people organizing, educating, and reshaping the future of America.
Let me throw on some captions real quick. I don't know why the music getting louder and louder. God, no.
American politics from the ground up.
Turning Point USA meets every other Thursday in room 312. Anybody's invited.
The story is simple. A bottom-up student movement built chapter by chapter, campus by campus.
Hey, put your hand up if you're in high school. Okay.
And it's not just a marketing story. These same
By the way, nobody in high school should be at an AmFest event. I don't care what the situation is. Nobody in high school should be at an AmFest event. So the fact that, I don't know, that was just crazy. I didn't even really peep that.
claims appear in official tax filings.
Just think about AmFest now, right? Hindsight's 2020. Think about AmFest and all the different speakers, especially Ben Shapiro, who opened up at AmFest. Think about the language he used throughout his first spiel, going to everybody, attacking everybody, and there are high schoolers in the crowd soaking all that in. That's why I say the right is turning into some type of indoctrination as well. So we already know about liberal indoctrination, right? We know that they do that in schools. They teach us that, I went through that. I don't know where y'all from, but that's what they taught us, liberal indoctrination. So anybody that came from the right, anybody that was conservative, Republican, whatever, oh, you're I don't know, TikTok language and stuff like that is what it is. But you're a racist. These people hate you and all this stuff. They teach you all these different things without actually knowing what's going on. You just believe in them. So we already know that liberal indoctrination exists, but now we're getting to this, Republican, I don't even want to say conservative indoctrination because I would consider myself a conservative, but it's getting bad. It's far right, right? We have radicals on both sides, but now this is like the far right extreme radicals that are now having these indoctrinations on that side, because there should be no high schoolers in the crowd listening to Ben Shapiro.
Documents submitted to the federal government where Turning Point USA describes itself as a nonpartisan educational nonprofit and certifies that it does not engage in political campaign activity.
Point Action and Turning Point USA.
This is the foundation of the organization. It's what justifies the money. It's what sustains the mission. It's what donors believe they are funding.
What they've done is put America right back on the right course.
But what if the numbers don't mean what they actually seem to mean? What if the chapter isn't what you think it is? What if the movement isn't actually there? We started asking a simple question, not about politics, not about ideology, just about reality. Are these chapters even real?
Hi, Elizabeth. This is Jessica. I'm the president at high school. You had reached out to Maggie, our director of student activities, and she forwarded us your email with some questions about having a Turning Point chapter on our campus. We do not currently host a Turning Point chapter on our campus, although I know it
Oh my
mostly
God.
lists us on their website. But if you want to give us a call back to have further conversation, we absolutely can. You can call us.
In its public messaging, Turning Point USA presents a clear picture of scale, a presence on thousands of campuses, a network of chapters spanning the country. Not even a way to click on the school. But in its IRS,
Yeah, I see y'all comments. Yeah, Erica giving her kid a tablet. Distinctly remember her saying not to give kids. Yeah, I mean, she lies about everything. Absolutely everything. Everything she says is contradicting and hypocritical. Everything. If you go back and Lord have mercy, I wouldn't wish that upon nobody. But I went back and listened to a couple of her women leaders conferences and summits and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, it's a nightmare. Everything that she is saying to not do, she has done before. So it's like, I don't even want to get into that. I had to watch. I suffered through like 40 straight minutes of women leaders conference of her speaking. And my Lord, like I did it for y'all, man. I tried to find different things and all of that. And unfortunately, I won't be able to get that 40 minutes back.
filings, the language becomes much more specific. The organization reports 1,873 charter chapters, an activity on more than 3,300 campuses.
There are roughly 3,500 Turning Point chapters at colleges and high schools across the country.
At first glance, those numbers seem to reinforce the same story, but they describe two different things. A charter chapter suggests something defined, a group of students, a structure, some kind of ongoing presence on campus. But active on campus is much less clear.
Club America is now on 3,300 high schools in America.
It could mean a functioning student organization, or it could mean something much looser, a single event, a student who signed up, a chapter that once existed but no longer does. And beyond that, the organization also refers to what it calls activism hubs.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. Somebody said that the first time they saw Erica at the memorial, they had a bad feeling about it. If y'all go back to Turning Point USA, this is just a side note. If y'all go back to Turning Point USA's TikTok and go look at her memorial speech, because it was weird on what they clipped. They clipped something, man, I wish I remembered. It's something that had nothing to do with Charlie. It was like, it was kind of like pushing feminism in a little bit. Like the clip was like, you know, I'm not your slave. Wives, you're not a slave. You're not this, you're not that. I'm your partner. It was some weird clip that Turning Point USA's TikTok used at the memorial. And it's not like a playback. This was used on 9, whatever the memorial service was, whatever day it was. It was used for that day. And I was like, why would they clip something like that? But if y'all go back and look at the comments, I say that to say a lot of people in the comments, the people that are like, man, I don't really know what's going on, but something's off. Bro, go look at the comments to that, the replies to that. And people are like, you just don't understand. Bro. And I'm not bashing anybody for doing that. I just want everybody to go back and look at where everybody's mindset was in 9-10 for the ones that actually thought something was off and now realizing like, yeah, they were right. And then also look at the replies of the people who was like, don't look too deep into it. Exactly where they wanted us. They wanted us to not look too deep into it. But all of those replies are people being like, you just don't understand. She's just gone through so much, blah, blah, blah. So I find myself at night going back on those pages and looking at stuff, looking at content on 9-10, seeing different comments of people, you know, people's discernment on point, to be honest, being like, nah, something's off. And then seeing what everybody's saying, because nobody wanted to come out that early and be like, she sounds like a fraud. Like nobody wanted to do that. But for the ones that did do that, shout out to y'all. But the replies, man, everybody was like, nah, bro, you got this wrong. And then some people, obviously, you got some people that's like, I've got the same feeling, all that. But definitely go back and look at it. That was crazy.
A category that's less clear still. The filings don't spell out how these different forms of presence are defined or how they're counted. And without a clear definition, the scale becomes harder to interpret. Because these categories overlap, or if they're applied inconsistently, then the total number may not reflect what people assume it reflects. Before looking at the map, before making any assumptions, we wanted to understand what those numbers actually represent. Not what they suggest, but what they mean in practice. And to understand how these numbers translate in practice, we turned to the organization's own directory. School by school, we began working through the list, reaching out to administrators, student activity offices, and faculty advisors. And we just asked one simple question: whether there was an active Turning Point chapter on their campus. Some schools confirmed that there was student groups that met, organized, and operated as we would expect. But in other cases, the answers were less clear. Some described the clubs had gone inactive. Others said the group had existed at one point but no longer did. And in some cases, administrators told us they had no affiliation with Turning Point USA at all. School, like, would you be able to let us know if it was ever a club that existed and maybe dissolved?
It has never. I do know for a fact it has never been a club on campus.
Gotcha.
Pay attention to this part right here.
A student organization can come and go. Records can be incomplete. And a national organization may define its presence differently than the school does. But taken together, the responses begin to raise a broader question. How consistently is that presence being defined? And how closely do those listings reflect what's actually happening on the ground? Because if a chapter can be defined loosely, then how much does it take to actually create one? Could a chapter exist without a real presence on campus? Without the school even knowing? Could it exist in name only? And if that's the case, can 3 people in their 30s start a chapter at a high school that doesn't exist?
Look at this school. Look at the state of the school right now. Right now. That is pictures from Wilkes County Training School. You can search it up yourself. It's going to show a couple of pictures as well. Look at this. Look at this school. The former Wilkes County Training School was established in 1956. It's been vacant since 2011. The building suffers from a lack of maintenance and deterioration. Look at that. Completely abandoned. But for the ones that are following, they're creating a fake, chapter request for a school that doesn't exist. She just pulled this image off of Chat GB. I always say GBT. I think it's GPT. But they just pulled this fake image of kids. Look, we received your chapter charter agreement, so I wanted to reach out with next steps. I couldn't be more excited to welcome you all to the Club America family. That is from, I'm assuming, Turning Point USA, Club America side or whatever. Hey, Jake. Yes, on our end, you are an official TPUSA Club chapter, Club America chapter. Jake doesn't exist. Nor does Wilkes County Training School exist. And then look at that. Wilkes County Training School on the map. Now, what was interesting about this, let me let this play a little bit to see if we're going to miss anything else.
For this one rep to start 40 chapters. So how are these reps? Ridiculous.
Man, you're killing me with the music. Come on, huh?
Amazing. And there's some leaders you guys have not even seen or heard about yet. But you will want.
Did y'all hear?
And there's some. Our chapter leaders are amazing. And there's some leaders you guys have not even seen or heard about yet. But you will.
I bet.
When I left Turning Point, I realized I just dragged all of these students into a burning building and then left and locked the door.
Now, obviously, here's the page right here. You can see it right here. You can go the Un-F America tour. You can go watch the video, full video on their page. This is just episode 1. They have many more episodes to come, and I'm going to be watching them all. Now, we are going to get to Nick Shirley because that is definitely a topic for tonight about this situation. Before we get to that, I want y'all to know that apparently we're about to find out right now. Turning Point USA has deleted since the video has dropped now, because as soon as this video dropped, I was one of the first, 200 or so people to watch the video. Now it has like 35, 40,000 views, I believe. Let me see. Yep, 38. Yep, so I said 35, 40. So I was one of the first people to watch the videos, first 200 or so, and I went straight to the Turning Point USA map. Now, I'm going to show y'all right here. This is my screenshot. This is my screenshot that I took, and you can see it right here. Wilkes County Training School. It was, in fact, there. Now, according to X, people are saying that Turning Point USA has now deleted the chapter. So let's find out. I want to just share my screen and we can find out together because I have not checked yet. Oh, I'm not sharing anything. Here we go. Let's find out. Here is Club America's, Turning Point USA Club America's page with who knows, God knows how many fake chapters are out of all of these numbers right here. But let's go to Wilkes. What is it called? Wilkes something Trading School. Hold on, let me pull this back up. What was it called? Wilkes County Training School. Training School. Let's see if it's still there. It's in Georgia. Right outside of Athens. And I can already tell that it is gone. Because it was over here somewhere. Let me pull this screenshot back up. See right here, y'all see Athens, and it was down, what is that? Down 78, right above Washington. And here is the website right here. Washington is right here. If you can see my mouse, they have removed Wilkes County Training School. There is not there anymore. Of course. Now, it would be hilarious at the fact that Wilkes County, I know you can't see it. It's on YouTube. I can't share anything on TikTok. It's on YouTube, though, if you want to see it. I can't. It'd be hilarious if that was only one school that the Un-F America tour was willing to share, and they already did this for many more. But they only was showing one because they knew Turning Point USA was going to go in there and delete that one. But it's gone. We're on the official website of Club America, and it is officially gone. Now, what does that mean for, you see the screen, what does that mean for all of these? Because if you ask me, I'm not willing to believe, right? I think in the video it said they have 3,300 chapters, right? I guess $32.99 now. Or maybe it went up because they added one, a fake one. But I'm not willing to believe that there are 201 chapters in South Carolina, 361 in Alabama. I mean, I can't even zoom in on Georgia. Here it is. 112, 34, 72, 25, 14. You see all of these different numbers. These are the amount of chapters that, you know, they have, apparently, allegedly. I'm just not willing to believe that whatsoever. It's all, I mean, I ain't gonna say it's all fake, but I'm just not buying it. Now, again, before I even get to Nick Shirley again, I am familiar with this finessing because the company I used to work for, that was a pyramid scheme as well, a cult, if you want to call it that as well. It definitely was. I don't want to say if you want to call it that. It for sure was. But it helped me because now I'm able to identify some of this stuff. This is exactly what they would do. I was in those conversations, not with the top dogs, but as far as the person that is the person that goes to another location, to like another state, to open up another location. I did that. I 100% did that. I was in Atlanta doing it. And then I was doing whatever I was doing good, I guess you can call it. And I was sent to New York. And yes, me going by myself with two of my guys, I going there alone was called a CEO. There was a business created. So me, as I'm my own CEO, and so I am technically a business in New York. That is what they're doing. That's what they were describing in the video. Somebody can sign up, right? Somebody right now that you know can say, I want to start a Club America chapter. And they have nobody else behind them backing them. They just saying, I want to start it. They can start it. And then now they are the Club America president of X city, whatever city you want to put in there. So that's why you have all of these different chapter presidents. It don't mean they have a huge club. It could just be one person that's somehow representing an entire city. I'm the chapter president. I already understand how that works. And yes, somebody said in the comments already, they are for sure laundering money. That is how that works. And my theory, in my opinion, off of just watching this from the surface level, all of these chapters are created. And you got to remember, Turning Point USA at the end of the day is a nonprofit. So when on paper, it looks like Turning Point USA is helping a lot of students. Therefore, the government turns around and gives them money because they are helping a lot of students. In reality, these don't even exist. These don't even exist. So I'm not even going to say the Turning Point USA is finessing the government. The government knows exactly who Turning Point USA is. They're, you know what I mean? They already have foreign influence, foreign money coming into Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA is part of the administration. I'm just telling y'all how these things operate. All of these different chapters that you see across the country, cap doesn't exist. However, it keeps them funded by the government, making it seem like they have to provide a lot of resources for their chapters across the country. In reality, they don't have any. And it's just a forever going cycle. That's why they want to open up so many. The more they open up, the more money they get. When will they catch on? Probably never, because they are a part of the fraudulent administration that we now are watching and witnessing every single day. On to Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley is not going to be interested in this. Why? Because unfortunately for Nick Shirley, I was a believer in him. I was somebody that was like, man, when he did that Minnesota daycare fraud, I was like, man, that's crazy, man. 23-year-old at the time, 23-year-old YouTuber. That is like phenomenal. That is why we need, you know, these investigators, these independent investigators and journalists. Look what he's doing. I was a fan. You can go back and watch my TikTok videos. I have like 2 or 3 videos that Nick Shirley reposted. However, what Turning Point USA is doing is the same exact thing as the daycare fraud in Minnesota. The same thing. They created fake daycares to be funded by the government because the daycare makes it seem like they are taking care of somebody. They're providing a service. So they're opening up fake Turning Point USA chapters. It's the same thing as the fake daycares, except this is probably on a larger scale because Turning Point USA is involved in heavy politics. Daycare, they were just laundering money. They were just laundering money, and they threw the Somalis under the bus. Turning Point USA is a much larger operation, and Nick Shirley is not going to be interested in this because he is a part of the same team. And this is what is going to officially confirm that he is an agent. We already been seeing the Brazil, the Cuba, all of that. That was strange. Candace brought it up. I was like, I mean, hey, she got a point. She does have a point. It doesn't really make sense. And then I always knew that Minnesota never made sense because I got a lot of hate on TikTok from the Minnesota thing because I try to tell many people. I say, listen, bro, if Trump's not in on it, Tim Walsh should go to jail. Simple as that. Don't come on my TV every day talking about Tim Walsh is stealing billions of tax-paying dollars and you ain't doing nothing about it. If he's stealing billions of dollars, lock him up. What are we talking about? You told me once. You don't need to tell me anymore. He stole billions. Let's lock him up. But the second that he wasn't getting locked up, oh, I'm just going to step down from my position. Stepping down? You should be going to jail. But once that didn't start happening, I said, oh, yeah, Trump's in on it. Trump's in on it. There's no way billions of dollars of taxpaying dollars is going underneath Trump's nose and him not know. That's impossible. I'm not going for that. And then it solidified that. It validated my feelings on that when Tim Walsh wasn't getting in trouble whatsoever. And then he actually ended up going on the news and gaslighting everybody saying, the people that's doing the fraud, the Somalis, we're going to catch them. How dare you conduct fraud in our city? Sir, the daycares were attached to your office. What are you talking about? But then Trump gonna post on his thing, me and Tim Walsh had a great conversation and, you know, we're going to work something out. And then Trump sends ICE in, right? It was all part of the plan. He can send ICE in, do whatever he got to do. But when you look back to the beginning of it all, who was there at the beginning? Nick Shirley. I never pieced all that together until Candace brought it to my attention. I always said the Minnesota daycare thing was strange because I said, bro, we know Tim Walsh is guilty. The Somalis they're used as scapegoat. But when you look all the way back to the beginning, it started with Nick Shirley. But Nick Shirley is not going to touch Turning Point USA because he's part of the same team, right? Whoever his bosses are, they come from that side. Because this is a prime example of fraud going on at Turning Point USA. He can drop whatever's Cuba, Brazil, all these other nonsense operations going on that somehow he'll go there, right? He'll go to Cuba. And then all of a sudden now Trump is like, I think we should take over Cuba. Now, is that why Nick Shirley was there? Just to like let everybody know that we should go there. And then now all of a sudden Trump's interested in Cuba. Okay. But Nick Shirley should investigate Turning Point USA if he's independent, if he's not owned. It's a lot of fraud going on, right? So I brought up this tweet today, and I got this idea. I actually should have said this at the very beginning. I got this coach brought this up to my attention when I was watching him earlier today about Nick Shirley, and he said it and then quickly moved on. I was like, oh, that's a great point. He said, man, Nick Shirley's not going to investigate this. I said, that's a great point. Project Constitution, man, I appreciate you supporting the channel. Great comparison. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you, man. You as well. Coach Colin brought up the great point of Nick Shirley. And so, you know, I brought it to X. And I said, hey, let's go on X and let's directly mention Nick Shirley and get this thing going. Not that he's going to reply. Obviously, he can't. But you would be surprised who actually replied. And I wasn't even expecting it. I wasn't even really talking to him. So let me share my screen really quick. I said, yeah, let's bring it to X. Nick Shirley is obviously being very defensive on, oh, I'm not an agent. Everything I'm doing is so real. Okay, cool. So we got something that is a slam dunk case for you in the homeland. You don't even got to go overseas no more and infiltrate Brazilian gangs and put your life in jeopardy. I got a job for you right here in the States. And that's investigating Turning Point USA, a known fraudulent organization. So we put out a tweet and I said, Coach made a great point today. Nick Shirley, I think you should look into TPUSA. Charlie suspected 10 million was missing. His Doge audit was canceled. Tyler Boyer was removed from COO. And here are some bullets, just some quick things that came off the top of my head. I said, there are ghost employees living in mansions, LLCs on top of LLCs under the Turning Point USA umbrella, private jets as transportation. Majority of their students get $0. Fake student chapters, which we just learned today. Foreign influence. BB offered to dump money into Turning Point USA, but Charlie denied. If you work for behalf of the people, I think we'd love to see you look into TPUSA. I know you've been busy overseas. This should be a slam dunk case for you right in the homeland. Let's see what you got. If your bosses allow it. Because we know how that's going to go. His bosses ain't going to allow it. His bosses are not going to allow it. This is the entire list of things that fit Nick Shirley's description on things that he likes to investigate. And one thing that is a fact is that the entire United States population, I won't say 100%, but maybe 80% would back his work if he chose to do this. If he chose to truly investigate Turning Point USA, which we know he won't, but if he did, his fan base was crazy grow because everybody is curious about Turning Point USA. Everybody knows that Turning Point USA has so many different things underneath, right? That is a huge red flag when you have a nonprofit, right? You have TPUSA, the umbrella, and then you have underneath this umbrella is Turning Point Action, Turning Point Faith, Turning Point, Club America, Turning Point Frontlines. They have all of these different umbrellas underneath the large umbrella. Huge red flag. Huge red flag. But Nick Shirley's not going to do it. He's not. But we offered it to him. I don't want to put it on record. And I feel like it's a fair thing to say. He says that he's not an agent. He's being accused of being one. I definitely think he is one. But if he's really for the people, then he should be able to do this. This is a slam dunk case. Most of the fraud has already been detected. If y'all have been watching the Leah files, she has personally been doing a Doge audit by herself. And it is great work. But you would think Nick Shirley would be interested in that because most of this stuff is public information. He wouldn't even have to deep dive and do all of this crazy stuff. Some of this stuff is surface level, right? That he can already have to at least say, let me further investigate and see what's going on with Turning Point USA. But he's not going to do it, which to me should prove that he is a fraud. If not, prove us wrong, Nick Shirley. Prove us wrong. Let me get to some of y'all comments before I get into the next topic, which is the paver tells his testimony, the paver that, paved over the crime scene and all that stuff. He tells his testimony on what happened and how it all happened. But let me see some of y'all comments on what we just talked about. Cause yeah, this is getting crazy. And I knew they was going to delete it. That is literally why I screenshotted the picture of the map, because I knew they were going to delete it. And actually, before I even forget, I'm still going to get to the comments, but before I forget, you would be shocked on who chose to reply to me on this tweet right here. Not Nick Shirley. Tyler Boyer. You can't make this up. Tyler Boyer found time out of his day to reply to the tweet that I honestly wasn't even worried about him personally in this tweet. It was more so about Nick Shirley. And mind you, I mean, I want y'all to let me see if I can actually, if X is gonna tell me. If X is gonna tell me, I hope it does, because I really was shocked when it happened. So I tweeted this at 6:02 p.m. Tyler Boyer comments at 6:28 p.m. Fairly quickly, in my opinion, just because, like, again, it's not even really about him. It's about Nick Shirley. And I feel like it was fairly quickly for somebody like Tyler Boyer to see my little old tweet. I'm just a little old me, just be yapping on my page, nothing crazy. I think at the time it might have had 20 likes. How is Tyler Boyer already commenting on the tweet? So he comments, no, I have been COO of Turning Point Action for the past 4 years. I was COO of Turning Point USA prior to that. Totally made up mentally challenged podcast stuff. So he calls me a dirt, basically. So that was very interesting, because again, I wasn't even really talking about him. And it was also interesting because I was like, well, for an entire list that I made about your company that you're affiliated with, the only thing I got wrong is the year that you were removed. Outside of all of these different accusations, ghost employees, employees living in mansions, LLCs on top of LLCs, private jets, majority of students work for free, fake student chapters, foreign influence. No. The biggest thing Tyler Boyer is worried about is, hey, man, I actually quit Turning Point. I actually removed myself from Turning Point USA 4 years prior, not 2 years prior, or not just recently. I did it 4 years ago. Now, I can't say that he's lying or not. I'm not a private investigator. That's for those people to look into if he's telling the truth. However, public information that you can just research and look up is that on paper, he was moved, or he moved, he whichever one, he left the position of COO in 2022 on paper. However, on paper, there was no COO from 2022 to 2025 when Justin Strife was appointed to that position. So who was the COO between 2022 and 2025? We don't really know. Speculation is that Tyler Boyer was still running most of that stuff, but we don't really know. So I'm not really, the whole point, I wasn't even trying to get into all that, but he came out of nowhere with that. Then obviously the UNF America tour started commenting as well, because obviously they on his head, and they was commenting on under the tweet, and they was going back and forth and all of that stuff too. And just to let everybody, I did reply to Tyler Boyer. I did. Sometimes I just can't help it. So I don't mind sharing it. But I basically said, yeah, okay, good to know. Out of that list, the only thing wrong is the year you left. And then I said, settle down on the labels, because he said that I was, mentally challenged. I said, settle down on the labels. I'd say you face a few challenges yourself, because I don't know if y'all ever seen this video, but
I'm Reagan Reese. I'm the White House correspondent for the Daily Caller. We're here at Turning Point USA's AmFest. I'm here with Tyler Boyer. Thanks so much.
You're a very popular lady. You know that.
You're a popular guy.
You're very popular. Yeah, you've got some very viral stuff that you do. You put out there.
I'm Reagan Reese. I'm the White House correspondent for the Daily Caller. We're here at Turning.
Yeah, so I don't think he should be worried about me talking about I'm mentally challenged. I think something else is challenging Tyler Boyer. A little sugar in the tank. That's all I'm gonna say. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing, you know what I mean? I'm not saying anything wrong with the folks that got sugar in the tank. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just pointing out that he definitely got some sugar in the tank. That ain't no normal, regular schmegular. That's not a normal guy talking the way he's trying to portray himself. I'm not going for that. Like, you're a very popular lady. Yeah. Like, you're so popular. No, bro. No, nobody that would consider themselves any type of straight would go back and forth in a, I don't know, it's crazy. So that was my response to Tyler Boyer. I'm not even finna go get into it with him. That wasn't even my goal. The goal was to go at Nick Shirley. But yeah, that was very interesting. Very interesting. All right, let me get some of y'all comments before I get to this paver video, because the paver video is not that long. It's only about 12-15 minutes. So I think we are at pretty okay timing right now. Mark, you're back. Hey man, it's some people trying to figure out who you are, because you definitely be watching. You be watching. I don't know, man. I'm starting to feel like I'm being watched by certain people. Is Nick cousins with Tyler Robinson? I did hear about that, but like, I don't know, man. I don't really believe it. I just don't really believe it. I think that it doesn't really make sense. I mean, you know, I don't ever, if I feel like I gotta do some extra digging, then I just wait for somebody else to do it. So what I saw and what I came across, I was like, I don't believe that. And I just kept scrolling. Could it be true? Maybe. I don't know. But it's not relevant to me at the moment. Nick was invited to the Einstein binder reveal. Really? No, I did not know that. Sorry, I apologize. I'm just looking through some comments. Crazy that Tyler Boyer is trying to deny it. I know, man. I know. You know, deep down, they know. They know that we know. That's the thing. They know that we know, and it probably bothers the heck out of them that we know how their operations work, everything that people have uncovered, including yourself, Project. Everybody is catching on to their games. We are much smarter than we give ourselves credit for. Not that we're smarter than they think, because I believe they think we're really smart. That's why they have to do all of this stuff. They have to continue to try to throw us off our path because of how close we're getting. So they know how smart we are. They know that we understand how laundering money works. And yes, you can learn it from a TV show. Yes. The more they try to gaslight us saying, y'all don't know how this works. No. Watch Ozark. That's it. Watch. That's just one show. Watch Ozark and you will learn how to launder money. I was about to say launder money. You will learn how to launder money by just watching Ozark. So yes, we understand what it looks like to launder money. A lot of us have experience sometimes as well. Like I said, I know what it feels like to work at a company that had a company within 20 to 50 other companies, and why they do that. Liabilities, all that type. Even if you take it from a general perspective, right? Amazon, except it's a for-profit, it's a S corp probably. But when you take those companies, the reason they have contractors underneath, when you get an Amazon package, it's not Amazon itself delivering your package. It's a contractor. It's a third-party contractor. They do that to avoid liability. If your Amazon driver decides to one day steal your package, you can't call Amazon customer support. You got to figure out, well, you might, but you don't. In the end of the day, you're gonna have to get in contact with the third-party contractor. That is the point of Amazon doing all that. They avoid all the liability while they make the most money. They don't have to worry about all of that other stuff. But it's odd for a nonprofit to have so many different entities underneath the umbrella of a nonprofit. Very strange. Tyler Boyer has ulterior motives and has been stealing from Charlie. You know, I definitely, I don't want to get in trouble or anything, but I don't disagree with you. Tyler blocked me, so I couldn't reply directly, but I made a tweet responding to him. I told him, try me. We got plenty of receipts. Yeah, he tends to block a lot of people. I'm that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That means you are doing the right thing when these people are blocking you. You're getting too close. You're getting way too close. I've heard about Tyler Boyer blocking many people. And if it really doesn't bother you, then just ignore it. But they can't. It's true. If you truly weren't bothered, you would just ignore it. I get 1,000 comments a day. Probably not thousands, but like hundreds of comments a day on TikTok and X combined. It's plenty of comments that I'm like, if it don't bother you, just keep going. It doesn't really do anything. Just keep going. Go on to the next. But if you respond to it, if you interact with it, then yeah, you're bothered. So yes, I will admit that anytime I respond to somebody, I'm bothered. I'm getting something off my chest. I'm gonna skip a little bit just because we're gonna get to majority of the comments at the end. So I don't want to go through all of it right now. I just wanted to get a couple of them. We no, yeah. I know what you're talking about too. Yeah. Yeah, we do. We do. All right. Enough fun for now. Let's get into the last topic of the night, and that is the paver telling his story, his testimony on what it was like the week that Charlie passed and what happened to him as far as the phone calls, who called him, what were the instructions on, how to pave over, all of these different things. Now, this is very interesting, and these are extremely important data points to add to the story and the timeline, and also people in general, because he is a huge piece to the story. This is somebody that we all were trying to figure out, hold on, why would they touch a crime scene? And why would they, why would they touch a crime scene? This early got Cheryl Farnsworth climbing on chairs. I mean, imagine that. Just truly imagine that. Put yourself in the mindset of a sick individual like Cheryl Farnsworth, where you watch Charlie get whatever. He falls out of the chair, right? It's blood everywhere. You go run, hide behind a corner, and you film a selfie video saying whatever, right? They got him, he's dead, whatever. Weird. That was already weird. That was just the first thing. Then he returns to the crime scene. It hasn't even been that long. He returns to the crime scene and he just picks up the chair and stands on it and starts taking out SD cards. Did y'all ever think of that and just think about how weird that is? Like this is supposed to be blood everywhere, right? And Charlie just fell out of this chair and he just goes over and just picks the chair up and stands right on it. I would feel a little like I wouldn't really want to touch anything. You know what I mean? I probably wouldn't even want to go back to the scene for nothing, bro. Bump that camera. Bump the SD cards. I don't care about none of that. I might hang around, but I'm definitely not finna. That's not the first thing that comes to my mind. But he just grabbed a chair like nothing. Look, that now they talking about Tyler Robinson being a cold individual. That's a cold individual, Tara Farnsworth. Being able to just pick up the chair, just stand on it. The same chair that Charlie just got done dirty in. That was crazy to me. But here, listen to the testimony of the paver. Let me share my screen really quick.
Told your story, but you've been getting a lot of like death threats and people that think you're part of the conspiracy. And I just wanted to kind of really get into how that all happened for you.
Sure. Well, so interestingly enough, I came and met with you about your Zen garden. That was right when it happened. I was on my way back to my shop in Provo, and I saw 6 different precincts flying past me in the commuter lane. And I got to, my shop is right. It's probably 2 miles away from UVU. I grew up right there. We walked to where I went to grade school. It was Vineyard, which is now UVU. And I saw all the cops coming past, and I got off on University Parkway, and everything was shut down. And I thought, what the hell, right? Got on the phone, asked Google, and Charlie Kirk, had been shot. I think Orem's a small town. This is where I grew up. I remember when it was UVU, UVCC, UVSC, right? It's grown. And so anyways, I think a lot of people around the world.
I'm gonna fast forward just a little bit. He's telling you, it's important, but I definitely want to get to the part of, when he got the call.
They're looking at it
from my old house.
Right. Dinner on of all places ever, right? I think his complete
Tuesday. I think it was a Tuesday.
Tuesday. My wife at that point was pregnant and very hormonal. She had been watching his club. They left a message, and the gentleman said, hey, this is kind of weird. They left a message, and I get a call, and I don't answer my phones on Sunday. They left a message, and the gentleman said, hey, this is kind of weird. And he was kind of hemming and hawing on the phone.
This was 5 days later then?
Yes,
you said it was on Sunday? Okay.
Yeah, on Sunday. And he says, we've got a paver emergency. I'm like, the hell is
when the hell's a paver emergency?
Exactly, right? I'm thinking, this guy's, what the hell? So anyways, I wasn't going to even respond because I don't typically do that. But I'm like, paver emergency. Part of my MO is I like to be useful, where I can be help, So I texted the guy. I said, look, I don't work on Sundays. My guys don't work on Sundays. I'm happy to call you on Monday. What's a paver emergency? So he sends me pictures of right where Charlie was murdered. And he says, we need to put pavers in this place. So I called him, and the guy seemed like a genuine good dude. He says, look, we don't have a whole lot of answers. We're told by, people above us that we've got to put pavers in, today and tomorrow. It needs to be in by Monday. And we've never done pavers. We've never installed them. And we want to make sure we do it right. And he says, would you come help? I said, 100%. So I went and got my shit. I got my trailer. I started calling my guys, and none of my guys answered. And so I started calling my other guys, my brothers. And then I called another, so I put together this ragtag team, of guys that we showed up on that Sunday, within an hour and a half of when they called us with our trailer. And we met with a couple of dudes. I was telling you there wasn't a whole lot of information. There was 2 guys that were kind of in charge.
So by this point, it's all dug up and everything.
Everything.
What did it look like?
I've got pictures, I could give you pictures of exactly when I showed up. I took pictures of what it looked like. They had taken out about 10 inches of the dirt around the whole place, right? Right now you can see where the pavers are, everything under that. Probably 10 inches had been excavated.
Why do you think they excavated so much dirt? You think that they were trying to make sure they got any bullet fragments or anything that was in there?
I wasn't looking at it with that lens, dude.
Really?
I wasn't.
It didn't even cross your mind?
It didn't cross my mind. Here's the thing. You were saying stuff on social media. Everybody's saying stuff on social media. Yeah. And quite frankly, I had been, I got so disheartened with social media because they just spin everything and they talk shit and fear mongering and hate sells. And I didn't want to see it. I knew there was videos out there. Right when I pulled into town when it happened, I Googled it and I saw the video from afar, right, of Charlie getting shot. And I thought, man, I don't want to see that shit. This guy got shot. You see it, you know he's probably dead or dying, right? I don't want to see somebody murdered, especially a good man, a father and a husband. So I hadn't been on social media. I had stayed away from it. My wife had been on it, and she was a wreck, bro. She was just, all that ugliness was just. So when I got the call, I thought, you better fucking believe it. I'm going to go help. That was all it was. Is I'm going to go help these guys. He's asking for help. They want to do it right. He framed it in the sense that, hey, we want this to be done right. So that's why I showed up. So, I mean, to do pavers correctly, you over excavate, you get rid of the top soil. Oh,
you do?
You do 100%. Okay. You want to get a good base. And these guys had kind of, there was two guys in charge and a ragtag crew. One of the guys was in charge of a state-owned facility in American Fork. And the other guy was in a maintenance groundskeeper on a facility in Provo. And these are the two guys I'm corresponding with. The first guy, the second guy that I hadn't talked to on the phone basically said, hey, look, we're not talking to anybody. We're not saying anything to the media. He says this is above our pay grade. The FBI and the state, the governor and the FBI, that's what they told me. The governor and the FBI said they want this done by Monday and we need to get it done. We're not asking questions. We're not talking to the media. And so I said, okay. So I just, that's kind of my MO is, I've been in so many car wrecks and I got a rollover when I was 17 and there was 3 girls in the car. I broke my back in 3 places, got a traumatic brain injury, but
no, he's going to talk about how whoever was there earlier that scooped out, that excavated 10 inches of dirt or something like that. He's going to say how that isn't the strangest thing ever, because typically that does happen. Like they scoop, if something happens like that, they quickly, once the feds or whoever gets whatever they need out of the crime scene, it is very quickly after that where they, clean up the blood, whether it's pressure wash it or excavate dirt out, whatever. So he says that's normal. But I think the biggest takeaway from this is the fact that they were rushing for him to repave over it and have it done by Monday. Because what is the big rush? If he works Monday morning, Tuesday, why can't you just have him scheduled on his regular day of work? Why is there a rush? Now, we already have our speculations on why they had to do this, so I'm not going to go through all of that all over again. I'm just trying to hear his side of the story. But they told us before, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that this was all scheduled. And it sounds like he got a phone call saying, no, this was a paver emergency, and we need you to work on your off day.
Nobody has. I didn't have my seatbelt on. I wrecked. We rolled down the freeway. We landed on the wheels, and I got out and say, all the girls were screaming. I said, who's hurt? How do I got all the girls on the stretchers. And then, so it's kind of my MO is under pressure, I know how to just show up and help as best I can. So that's,
so you guys got it done that day, the next day. And then
so we worked until night. And basically until dark. And then we came back the next morning and started getting it installed.
Was there anything that happened afterwards? Like any weirdness? Did you start getting people calling you or texting you trying to get more 100%. Of the story? Like what happened then?
Well, no, not, I think there was, the thing that felt fishy to me was after it happened, and I saw, at that point, a few people had kind of accused me of being a part of the cover up. And I thought, so I started watching the videos. I started getting on Facebook and I'm like, well, questioning, like
it immediately decided to excavate and pull up a murder scene of like that. They immediately decided to excavate and pull up a murder scene of like such an important murder that's completely doesn't make any sense with the official narrative. Don't you think that's super weird that they would immediately try to excavate all that and pull it up instead of making it a crime scene?
So here's what a lot of people don't realize is is very public crime scenes don't last as a crime scene very long. They just don't. Typically speaking, they come in, they take all their evidence, they wash it down with a fire truck so that people aren't coming and looking at all the blood and the gore. That's fairly typical. I don't know. That's what I know. So at this point, that happened Tuesday. We're Sunday, so Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, till Sunday's a longer time. I thought but they started pulling it up. I think
yes,
like the next day or 2 days
I don't
later.
know
You
what
weren't part of that.
Yeah, I wasn't part of that.
That actually that makes more sense because like I thought you were part of like the pulling it up and everything else as well.
So after we put the pavers in, we were working as a team, but I was going past some of the grounds guys and I said, I just hollered at.
Yeah, I think it's very important for us to find out who paved it up and when. Who were those people? Who excavated 10 inches of dirt out of the ground? Because he said when they got there on Saturday, Sunday, it all was already pulled up. So who did that? When did they do that? Because if Charlie got done in on Wednesday, if whatever happened to him happened on Wednesday, and this happened on Thursday, that's fairly quick because the manhunt was still going on. So I think that's very important. I don't know if we'll ever find out who did that, but
Adam said hi, and he wanted to tell me about, he was the one who pulled it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did he have to say?
He was the one. I was going past some of the grounds guys, and I said, I just hollered at him, said hi, and he wanted to tell me about, he was the one who pulled it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did he have to say?
So this is a grounds guy. I guess hopefully we might get our answer, but I'm sure we won't get a name. But this is somebody that pulled it up. A grounds guy. Somebody. It sounds like somebody that probably worked at UVU. A grounds guy.
Do you remember his name?
I don't. No, I don't think I got his name, but he was part of the grounds crew for UVU. And he was pretty ticked. He was like, dude, I don't know why the hell they're bringing you guys in here or why they're bringing the state in here. They made us tear everything out, the blood and the nastiness. He was responsible for the cleanup. And he was a little.
So a UVU employee was responsible for cleaning up a crime scene? That is crazy. That is crazy.
Bitter, he's like, he made us tear everything out, the blood and the nastiness. He was responsible for the cleanup, and he was a little bitter. He's like, I don't know why they're bringing other state employees to finish out this crime scene.
No, it makes sense. So
they had state employees clean up the crime scene, and they had this local paver down the street pave over it on Sunday. That is weird. That didn't bring me any type of comfort whatsoever. That doesn't make any sense at all. That doesn't make any sense at all.
You've had people, because look, I've been following it semi-closely. I was for a while, right? Now it's pretty clear to me they set this kid up, and
yeah, that's what it looks like.
It looks like it was the lava Mike. I would bet my life on that. Yeah. And we all know that Charlie had turned on Israel, and that's probably why they killed him. Right. I mean, that's their MO.
And just one point, when we were sitting there, somebody had been killed there, bro.
Sure.
It was heavy, dude. It was heavy, dude. It wasn't like I didn't want to fucking be there. I didn't want to be there, but I was trying to be useful. As you look up and you see where they're saying this shot's coming from, it's in plain fucking view. You can see but dude, I've hunted. A 30-06 from that close a range does not do what that bullet did, right? You look at the videos, you see his shirt do some crazy shit. You see his team catch him before he hits the fucking ground. But yet they can't see a guy right in front of them setting up. Like, it didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't make any sense. I mean, there's a really good comedy thing that Jimmy Dore does about.
Yeah, I noticed that too. He said Tuesday a couple of times, but Wednesday is when it happened to Charlie. But here's another guy saying that what is this, 12/17, 13/08? Yeah, I think he doesn't say much else. But yeah, here's another person saying that he does not believe the original narrative. He is a hunter, and a 30-06 would do much worse damage than what happened to Charlie. I don't know how many times we got to hear that from somebody, but here's another person that we can add to the list of people that actively use guns, know what it does, know the type of damage it causes, and they once again say that is impossible.
Essentially what they say the official narrative is. Like the dude literally had to like take the gun apart, switch his clothes, put the gun back together, switch his clothes, go down. Nobody could see him this entire time, reassemble the gun, ditch it at a house that's owned by Palantir. Like the whole thing is just insane. The official narrative is insane. It's kind of like I just think it'll be like JFK, right? Like, yeah, we know what happened now to JFK. We know who killed him. We know why they killed him. If you're following all this stuff.
No.
And it's kind of the same thing with Charlie Kirk. I think we'll never really know, but we kind of already know, you know? And that's just the reality of the world that
we don't know, but we know. Come on, man. That's what you're supposed to say. But you know, I don't know. You know, that was his testimony, so I can't really. It's hard to go to dissect it and dispute whatever. However, we can have our speculations and opinions on it. The grounds crew UVU worker cleaning up the crime scene and following up with another person that is just a UVU local paving over the crime scene. Super weird. Super weird. Very strange. I think, I don't know why he didn't ask. He said he knows the people that went in there and cleaned it up. So what time did they do it? That would have been very helpful. I mean, you know, obviously emotions were high, so he probably wasn't thinking about it. But that would have been very helpful. What time? Who told you to clean up the crime scene? Just like how he said the governor and the FBI told him that he needed to pave over this crime scene by Monday. Well, who told those ground crews to, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so many different things that I have questions about, man. It's so many different things. And, you know, I still refuse to believe something at that magnitude, right? Something that like that happened to Charlie. I just don't think you can get everything you need out of that crime scene in that short amount of time. Let's just say whatever happened to Charlie was on Wednesday. And sometime Thursday, they started cleaning up the crime scene. That doesn't make any sense because the manhunt was still going on. Yes, sure, you may have other people that can work different positions and jobs. Somebody could have been on the crime scene doing this while the manhunt was still going on. Sure. But it was just so much going on, man. Like, I just don't see that. You got to figure out the trajectory of the bullet and where it was positioned on the roof, because you kind of need the different angles, because that probably would also prove that he was not, you know, but you would need so many different things, everything off the ground, all the different black little pieces of probably the microphone that was on the ground. It was so many different things that went on at that crime scene that I feel like minimum 48 hours. I'm thinking best case scenario, 48 hours. I think nothing under 48 hours. I just don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. If he was done, if Charlie got whatever happened to him on a Wednesday, I say the crime scene isn't cleaned up until like sometime on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday-ish. And then the pavers, there shouldn't be this huge rush for the pavers, right? Whenever they work, the next time they work, if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's when you pave it again. Outside of that, you block it off. That way people don't go down there. But there's no rush to it. Just block it off. I don't know, man. Very, very, very strange. I don't know. But it was definitely interesting though. I was wanting to know his side of the story, who gave him the call to be there, how did that go? And apparently this guy did it for free. I think if you go back and watch the interview, I could be wrong, but I believe that's what he said, because I think the guy that's interviewing him was talking about how he needs to stop, sticking his hand out trying to help people all the time, because the guy was like, man, I was just trying to provide a service. Like this huge thing just happened to Charlie. So when I got this phone call to come help out, man, I was just trying to come help. So apparently this guy did it for free, which is also strange. You know what I mean? Like, I guess, sure. But it's like at the end of the day, you're providing a service. You know what I mean? Like, and that paper trail also would have been helpful. Like, who paid you? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he would have shared that or not, but there's all these different things that we just can't confirm, because it's like, oh, this person said this to this person. I talked to one of the grounds crew and they said that they were the ones that cleaned up the crime scene. Well, who was that grounds crew person? And who called that grounds crew? And what time did they do it? You know what I mean? It's so many different things that we just don't know, because everything is off the record. And that's dang near this whole case. Everything is off the record. The text messages with Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs, off the record. We don't have official phone records from T-Mobile, AT&T, whatever it is. We don't have official phone records. All we have is typed up BS that somebody typed up and said, these are the text messages. We don't have anything that is official. And I was watching the Black Line Brief last night, because he had a collab with somebody, man. I forgot his name. I don't want to say what he said or the idea without knowing his name, because he definitely gets the credit, because he had my head spinning on this one. Tommy Borum mentioned something last night, and I was like, man, that's a great point. He said he doesn't even believe Lance Twiggs is Lance Twiggs. Like, if we just really thinking outside of the box, somebody probably already could have thought that. But I definitely was like, interesting. He was like, Lance Twiggs is not even Lance Twiggs. That is just a name that they're trying to give us to throw us off a little bit. Lance, think about who is Lance Twiggs, and what person as Lance Twiggs is this transgender type person. But Lance Twiggs is 100% somebody else that is a different name, but Lance Twiggs is just a character in this story, in this entire thing. And I was like, dang, yeah, I can 100% understand that and see that, because he just don't look like a Lance Twiggs. You know what I mean? Like, he don't. It's crazy. But I don't know, man. Let me know what y'all think. I'm definitely about to get to y'all's comments right now, but let me know what y'all think. Drop in the comments below of everything. Make sure you hit the like button, whether you're on your way in right now at the end of the show, or you're on your way out because you finna go to sleep. Just hit the like button and make sure you hit the sub button as well. If you are new to the channel, we are on the road to 22K, and I do appreciate all the support along the way. So let me get to some of y'all comments. I'm gonna try to get to as many as I can. Obviously, I will prioritize the supers first. So let's see. Got one. I appreciate G Chamari. I appreciate you supporting the channel. I appreciate the donut. Thank you very much. Let's see. I saw both of these stories is all coming to light. I've said it, just a matter of time before the truth is all exposed and revealed. I am all for truth and transparency and accountability. 100%. I definitely agree with you, Buffy. It is, something that we just have to continue to keep pushing, because there are some days where we, I personally feel like, dang, bro, we are not getting anywhere. But it's the small things. It's the small wins. We are getting somewhere. We got to think about where we were in the beginning of January versus where we are now. We are getting somewhere. We're actively going against people that are covering up something. So it is hard to feel like we're gaining progress when we have people actively working against us. And I hate when we are gaslit by people that are like, you know, we bring up a theory, we bring up something that, you know, fits the timeline or makes sense to us, and we feel like we're getting a step in the right direction. And then somebody's like, well, prove it. If that's your theory, why hasn't the government or the administration or the Fed said anything? And it's like, those are the people that you just kind of got to ignore when it comes to stuff like this, because it's like, of course, there's not going to be an article on it, or else it would, like, what are you talking about? Of course, there's not going to be an article on it. Of course, the Feds isn't going to lock this person up. Of course, those are the people you have to ignore. So I do agree with you. And on top of that, while everybody is in here, we have 90 people in here. So I would appreciate if all 90 people can, and TikTok as well, you can definitely vote, because I'll go back afterwards and check. But we did a vote last time. Let's see, 10:48 p.m. is my last place on the comments. We did a poll last time on Lisa Knows. She wants to come on the show and you know, defend her side of things, because y'all know her and Gary are the only two people that will somehow know all of this information. And so I'm leaving it completely up to y'all, because I do respect the Yap community. I do. So, you know, I'm gonna put another poll up. The other night, I think yes won the poll. We had a yes, a no, and a hell no. And I believe the yes won the category with like 52% votes or something like that. So I'm about to put a poll up right now before we get to the rest of the comments, just so y'all can let me know how y'all feel about it. Let me know if y'all want her on, and ask her whatever you want. And y'all know me, I will grill as much as I can. But let me know what y'all think, because once I kind of get it solidified with y'all, if y'all feel like this is something you want to listen to again, then we'll get it going. If y'all don't want to hear her and say, no, let's not do it, she's a distraction, I don't want to do it, blah, blah, I don't want to hear her, I respect that too. So let me see. All right. All right. The poll is up. Go vote, and we shall see. Okay. Exactly. His death impacted millions. It absolutely did. It absolutely did. Somebody on TikTok asked, who in my family do I talk to about this case or something like that? Nobody. I am solo on this. I'm probably similar to a lot of people when it comes to this topic. You know, a lot of people just aren't interested, especially I feel like it's a trend that, you know, I feel like everybody here is the one that's interested in this case. And then your family is the one that's not interested in this case. And that's why we're all here. So we can have a community to come talk to about all of this crazy stuff. So I don't talk to nobody about this. Nobody really cares. And that's fine. You know what I mean? Like that's on you. But, you know, it's something that interests me. Every now and then my dad will call me, and like if Tyler Robinson is on the news or something, and he's like, you heard that that boy on the news today that did that to Charlie Kirk or whatever. And you know, I'll be like, yeah, and we might like chop it up a little bit. And I'm like, man, Pops, you know he ain't do it, right? That don't even make any sense, blah, blah. He like, what? And then I'll like tell him like one or two things that was like very shady that that Erica did, and he'll literally be like, why she ain't locked up? Like, why she ain't being interrogated? Like, that's super strange. And I'm like, I know. You know what I mean? I don't even get too deep into it because, you know, they don't know that much and all the things that we know now. But it's just funny how somebody that is so detached from social media can still listen to a couple of things that Erica has done, her behavior, and they still would be like, that's awfully strange. I'm like, I know, right? And you have people that actually have access to the internet, like myself, that would look at all this stuff and be like, it's completely normal. Like, it's crazy, but that's just where we are today. Yeah, I watched the Candace Owens and Hunter Biden interview as well. I don't think I finished it. I still got a little bit to go, but it definitely was good. Good interview. Gave me another perspective on Hunter Biden. So it was good. And also another person that says, I don't really understand the Charlie Kirk investigation. So it's crazy how many people are all on the same page when it comes to that. Something changed in me too. I actually became emotional, which is a first for me. I also started going back to church. Yeah, I mean, it really did rock everybody mentally. It really did. And that's a beautiful thing that, you know, a lot of people, you know, dove a little bit more into their faith and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it was kind of like a play on Turning Point USA side, kind of like a manipulation tactic. However, I think a lot of us felt that from Charlie's presence. So at least Charlie was the one that had people dive into their faith a little bit more, even though Turning Point USA was at the same time trying to manipulate and weaponize faith against us. So you are right though, Buffy. I feel like the elites are doing things right in front of our face to totally desensitize us to the point where we know nothing we do matters. Charlie, Iran, data centers, Massey, we can't stop. Yeah, I agree. I think ever since Charlie died, everything has been very blatant and they don't hide it anymore. You know, I said this the other night when we were on live about Thomas Massey. I saw a Laura Loomer tweet resurface or something like that. And she was like, if Thomas Massey wins, I'm moving out of the country. And I was like, oh, well, there's your answer. You know, he's not going to win because those people know, right? They're arrogant for a reason. And I think ever since Charlie died, they have taken their arrogance to the next level. They don't hide it anymore. All of these people that were Zionists or whatever, they make sure they flaunt that now and brag about how pretty much if you support that other country and you accept money from them or whatever, you can buy yourself a seat. And they make that known that that's just what it is now. And if you don't accept money from them, you are somehow an anti-Semite. So like, it's just what it is. It's where we are now. And that is exactly what Charlie was extremely frustrated with on his on the show with Megyn Kelly a month before he died. He said, just because I disagree with you on one or two things, you calling me every name out of the book when I've done nothing but support you majority of my political life. But now that I disagree with you on this one topic, you're calling me all of these different names. So when people ask, you know, what would Charlie say if he was still alive today? It sucks to say this, and I'm sure a lot of people can probably understand, but I just don't see him alive today. Like, it makes sense, unfortunately, for him to be, you know, no longer on this earth because of everything that's going on right now. Could you imagine? Charlie would literally have to either be a Trump shield, a Republican shield, or he would end up being like Candace, Tucker, and Megyn Kelly, where he'd be just like off by himself, being disrespected by Trump. Those are the two options. If he was alive today, he would either be exposed as a Trump shield, somebody who just, no matter what, lies to the public and just backs Trump no matter what. And he had a couple of times where he was doing that. But there will be times that obviously he will go against what Trump says. That's what he was doing in his final days. So Charlie alive today would literally mean he would back Trump 100% of the time, like some of these dummies, right? Some of these, oh man, the words that I want to say without, you know what I mean? Some of these people that follow Trump blindly, Charlie would either have to be a part of them, which I think those people are delusional, and I don't think Charlie is, or he would be an op, right? He would be kicked out of MAGA. He would be talked about and labeled crazy things by Trump and all of the other MAGA. But I just don't see that happening. I don't see Trump talking trash about Charlie because everybody knows Charlie was like another son to Trump. So it only makes sense that Charlie had to go. Yeah, that fake BS grieving is so upsetting. And to know that none of them would be there without Charlie, that is a fact. It's a fact. I mean, I said something today about Erica. Something I don't even be knowing what I say, y'all. I be yapping so much. I yap so much, I forget what I say about half the time. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, Erica decides to come out and tweet about, Spencer Pratt's race, right? I'm not into everybody and I don't know who everybody is. However, the point that I'm bringing that up is because everybody knew that Charlie was a Thomas Massie supporter. Everybody knew that Charlie was a Thomas Massie supporter. And Thomas Massie obviously was going through the ringer yesterday and all that. And Turning Point USA and Erica, nobody ever said anything about Thomas Massie. He was trending. And if Charlie was alive, he would have commented on Thomas Massie. But Thomas Massie ended up losing. And then MAGA made fun of Thomas Massie. Trump made fun of Thomas Massie, all this other stuff. So I already expected nobody to come out on Turning Point side and defend the fact that Charlie would have supported Thomas Massie. Of course not. That would go against being a Trump, mouthpiece. But Erica decides to come out and talk about Spencer Pratt's race. And then when people started pulling up pictures of Spencer Pratt, he's holding up the... Where they at? Dang, where they at? Oh, they right here. Y'all know the country I'm talking about. He's holding up that flag. He said, happy birthday to that country. And everybody's like, oh, of course. That's why Erica is so lovey with him. That's why she loves him so much. Of course. Of course. But she chooses to come out and talk about that race outside of Thomas Massie. So I brought that up to say, when I saw that, I immediately I always get upset sometimes when I see her tweet stuff because there's an elephant in the room almost every time and she just doesn't address it at all. And she'll just address something else. And that's what I was bringing up. I said, I saw this coming. I was quoting her talking about Spencer Pratt's race. I said, I saw this coming, 1,000 Charlie videos of him expressing his love and support for Thomas Massie. No comment. I actually do not like when I talk and don't share what I'm talking about. So let me share it right quick. I said, saw this coming, 1,000 Charlie videos of him expressing his love and support for Thomas Massie. No comment from Erica or TPUSA to acknowledge the fact that Charlie supported him. But she'll come out of nowhere talking about Spencer Pratt. Same as the Iran war. Never said anything publicly to stand on Charlie's word and how he felt about the war. In that secret recording, she said, I don't know what Charlie would say about the war. Instead of addressing the elephant in the room, she tweets, "Thank God for our men and women in uniform for fighting in Iran." Apparently, the only time she I had a typo here, but apparently the only time she knew what Charlie was going to say was when she said Charlie was dancing with God about their employees working 80-hour weeks. But the Iran war, no clue what Charlie would say. Thomas Massey, who is that? And that is exactly how I feel about her when it comes to Charlie. Anything Charlie stood for, anything Charlie was pretty open about, she can't even just come out and just defend what he would say. I mean, the Iran war was plain and simple, right? That was clear as day. And she still said, I don't know what he would say. It's crazy. Conservatives were hijacked. They were. They were and they are. It is totally different than when Charlie first died and you was just like, and you know, there was like a part of the world that was just making fun of him and all that stuff. And that's when, and you know, that was the liberal side, the Democratic side, if we want to divide and all that. But it was them that was making fun of Charlie in those different ways. I love how they are finally being exposed by other people, not just Candace Owens. That's the best part is because it's so many people, such as, I don't even want to say it, but it's so many people that are always like, oh, y'all are only doing this because Candace said it. And it's like, no, not at all. There's so many other people talking about the same thing in different angles. When it comes to Erica, Candace was one of the last people to be on Erica, but she was one of the last people to be on Erica's butt. Everybody else was on her. I was definitely super fed up with Erica. But Candace was the last person. She didn't want to believe it. So I'm like, bro, nobody's just sitting waiting around. You know, I ain't gonna say nobody, but just because we know something don't mean, oh, just because you heard it from Candace. Now, if it's like, yes, Andrew Covett told Candace this, then yes, we cannot dismiss that because Andrew hasn't came out and denied that. So that is very important. But I can't stand when people do that, though. But do we remember that interview where Charlie said Erica was very far right? Yeah, that was one of those early interviews. And it's interesting, man, because they can never get their story right. Charlie nor Erica could ever get their story right on how they met and something. I remember one time they asked Charlie, was Erica into politics? And he said, no. But if y'all remember, Erica has that, she commented under that 15-year-old girl's Instagram and was like, you know, someone asked her about like the little clear white tattoos or whatever. And then she was like, well, I'm heavy into political affairs. I'm in DC all the time. And now I'm like, that was like 2015 or something like that. So I'm like, she was into politics. She was heavy into political affairs. But Charlie said she wasn't into politics. But then Charlie also said that she was way more far right. I don't know. Crazy though. Watching from Moscow, Russia. Somehow got hooked on the drama across the ocean. Keep it up, Jay. Hey, I appreciate you. I gotta get you a pin. You will be the first one in Russia. So I'll get you a pin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tapping in. She's done everything opposite of Charlie's wishes and beliefs. It's so obvious, yet no self-awareness whatsoever. Yeah, she has. Everything. Absolutely everything. They are a Trump, they're Trump's mouthpiece now. And I think there was a period of time where Charlie was Trump's mouthpiece and he was afraid to say certain things. He said he was open about that with Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly said that on her show. where the day that he told her to go max was because he couldn't really say much because of how close he was. You know, that's not good. But at the same time, he was realizing how close he was and how deep in he was in his final days. So he realized it, but it was too late. Drinking an energy drink at midnight, that's probably not a good idea. I swear to God, if my 3-year-old son's future history books rewrite this, I'll be the crazy old lady raining truth on him. Man, I'm telling you, because you know Charlie Kirk gonna be in somebody's history book. Yeah, I'm not going for that at all. I'm not going for any of that. I promise you right now. If my son, you know, hopefully I don't have to, you don't have to go to like the regular schmegular, you know, public schools, because you know they straight cap on everything. But if he does have to go there and he come home with history lessons and stuff, I'm like, yeah, bro, look, we can do this to pass the class, but I'll tell you right now, all this is a lie, all of it. But I don't even want him to go to them schools that teach stuff like that. I'm like, bro, all of it's cap, bro. Like everything, a lot of stuff we learn in school is just cap. How about I go through it since I've already have and just send you all the stuff I found? It's incredible. Oh, absolutely. Go ahead and send it my way, Crystal. I'll take a look at it. Honestly, the silence from Charlie's family is enough proof for me that something's off about her. There's no relationship with her and them. Weird. Yeah, and I wish they would come forward. I wish they would. I mean, at this point, you got to stop being afraid of the cameras. You got to stop being afraid of, you know, people twisting your words and all of that stuff. You got to, because at the end of the day, they're twisting Charlie's words and they're going on national television saying this is what Charlie was saying when you know it's not. So they gotta come forward eventually. I don't know. You know, again, my perspective is that it's my son. I'm coming out. You know what I mean? And don't let his wife be acting all shady. I'm coming out because at the end of the day, that's my son. If I was Charlie's sister, I would come out and say something. So I'm not really sure. Very strange. Mason, what is that? Lemmy was a part of TPUSA, and now he is speaking out even on Erica's page directly. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I hit him up like 3-4 times too. I was like, man, let's chop it up, bro. I'm trying to get, you know what I mean, get your perspective, hear your story, your testimony. He left me on red. He left me on red like twice, and then like on another platform. He was already following me on TikTok, so I followed him back, and I was like, yeah, bro, look, come on the show and let's chop it up. And then he just said, I think he just said, thanks, man, or something like that. Like, because I was like, you know, it took a lot of courage for him to do all that, blah, blah. Small talk. And he literally just commented like, thanks, man. Never replied again. I'm like, okay, but you know what I mean? My fault. I'm the lame one. My B, bro. Thought Erica was off from the get-go. Yeah, I mean, I know for me, as soon as I started looking back at videos, I was like, oh yeah, the signs are there. The signs are there for sure. Has anyone dug into the team that was supposed to be security for the next day event? For Charlie, I'm surprised the cops aren't curious about that. Well, you know, we know the cops aren't going to be curious about anything at this point, but apparently it was supposed to be Dan Flood and others, because Brian Harbaugh has in his lawsuit. Oh shoot, my phone just died. Brian Harbaugh had in his lawsuit that he was unaware of like the event not having any security detail or something like that. So I don't know. That's weird. Charlie would have found all of this and more if they did the Doge audit he wanted. Yeah, but it was canceled by his wife. So, and now we know that Charlie's, he had an appointment set up, you know, whether it was him and Erica set it up or him by itself, who knows, but he had an appointment set up on the Monday following his death to adjust his will. I mean, the signs are there, right? These are easy things to pick up on from an investigator's perspective. Like, hey, I might need to look into the wife, because why is this 31-year-old trying to adjust his will right after he sends texts out saying they are going to kill me? And he's also emotional on different podcasts and stuff, and now he wants to adjust his will. Very strange. Let's look into who would benefit from this. Maybe we should look into the person that went out on stage and said, I appoint my wife, Erica Kirk, to be the CEO if something happens to me. And something happened to happen to him. And I watched that video. I watched Megyn Kelly and Erica's interview today of that happened long ago. And Erica said specifically, I don't even know if I can find it because I didn't timestamp it, but she said specifically, she watched the video of when Charlie said, I would appoint Erica as CEO if something ever happens to me, I appoint Erica as CEO. She said, I watched a video when Charlie said that. I feel like it's kind of relevant to find it. So give me 1 second. I'm just going to see if I can find it really quick. If I can't, I'm going to just keep it pushing.
To him, that they would step up and they would be filled with the Holy Spirit and they would do what he knew they were born to do.
Let me see if I can find it.
And they wouldn't be afraid, instilled in them, handpicked.
They've been amazing. Team adored her. You know that woman of whom and
that he helped build and cower. They were born, they would be, something happened to people that he loved and he trusted so much, but that were within our orbit, our closest orbit, the people that he loved and he trusted so much, and that he knew without a shadow of a doubt, if something happened to him, that they would step up and they would be filled with the Holy Spirit and they would do what he knew they were born to do. Be filled with something happened orbit that not only, yes, but he handpicked, he built, hand-selected my husband. Every day is different, really young.
Which is always, this was the first one.
But you guys are all
happy birthday.
Like your first date week for me. Well, we talked about earlier this week how it was an emotional week for me. Well, we talked about
let me ask, the fire makes a nice difference.
Everyone
I really want to find this.
Everyone got the sparks.
The fire makes a nice
with the Holy Spirit, and they would do
you. Because I think people,
if something happens to you, like what would happen next, the turning point, and
here you go.
What's that? And one of the first questions in August, August, before all this happened, he had a event where he had some donors at, and one of the first questions they asked was, God forbid if something happens to you, like what would happen next to Turning Point? And Charlie made a really interesting point. He said companies, example, Apple, LED, not around. Erica will video this week. It really put into perspective. And when I watched that video this week, it really hit. And he had made mention at the end, like, Erica will do a great job running it. And when I watched that video this week, it really put into perspective.
When I watched that video this week, so just show it. Just show it. You watching it a million times. Just show it. And this is back then. So I just wanted to show that because I thought that was crazy. Her saying that she watched the video. So just show it then. You literally said that it's so many videos of Charlie that nobody's ever seen before. And it's like, how? So y'all were just filming events and never posting them? How do you have so many videos of Charlie that nobody's seen before? Somebody's seen it. Like Candace said, he wasn't talking to himself. And that's why I was trying to tell somebody about the importance of this video dropping that supports the audio of him saying, I appoint my wife, Erica, to be CEO if something happens to me. It's important because as soon as the video is posted, somebody will be able to approve or confirm or deny if that actually happened because there were people in the crowd. So it's important. Some people are like, why does it matter? It matters because as soon as they post it, people will be able to easily confirm if that is true or if it never happened. And that's why they don't want to post it because they know how easy it is to figure out if it's legit. If you're talking about the documentary that we watched in the earlier part of the episode, it is on the Un-F America tour. Un-F, like F as in bad word F. This is how you get fraud. They're getting government grants to open the chapters, putting money into them, and then there's nobody to score a chapter. They just embezzle all the money. Exactly. Easiest play in the book. We all can see it. I had a feeling she was off on that speech she did in a white suit just 2 days after his death, where she's standing in CK's studio, touching his chair, smiling and fake crying. I saw right through her. Yeah, and she was also promoting opening chapters and becoming a donor and buying merch at that same time. But I mean, shout out to y'all for having discernment that early. I didn't even watch that the day that it came out. It literally, I don't know. I wasn't even focused on Erica. I was really just focused on Charlie Kirk content. I wonder if the donors know these chapters are not real. I feel like some of them do. But remember, Erica said in the Zoom, so many things happen with Erica. That's why she doesn't talk much, because every time she talks, she incriminates herself. But Erica said in that leaked Zoom call that it was like 300,000. It was some crazy number that she said we have 300,000 new donors or something like that. I'm like, what? So probably some of them know. I would say a lot of them, are not donors anymore. They don't even really need them. It's a disguise. Everything they're doing right now is a disguise in order to not look like a criminal organization. That's why they need the students. That's why they need, you can become a donor. Your donation doesn't matter. They have to come up with this fake organization where they can embezzle and launder money. Have you checked out the Leah files? Yes, I have. Leah, she's great. She just commented on one of my things earlier today. So she's great. I love watching her stuff when she drops something. Watching her is like watching an audit that was supposed to happen by somebody with Turning Point USA. So she's great. I would definitely encourage everybody to go watch her content. We was just talking about this. There's a video after video. Oh, there is video after video of CK speaking of how much he supported Thomas Massey. Erica follows nothing he stood behind. 100% agree. I wonder if the lawyer visit CK had the 15th was for divorce and changing his will. Yeah, so now we know that he was in fact changing his will on the 15th. But I think we can probably speculate why. I mean, I think something was definitely going on, especially when you put all the context clues together. It points to a pretty rocky position between him and Miss Erica Franzway. That's why he was never going to be leaving Utah alive. He could not make it to Monday, September 15th to change his will. Absolutely. He couldn't. He couldn't. How convenient, right? For somebody out there that he so happened to pass away before his appointment. And Candace made that great connection of that other widow that actually killed Black Widow, that killed her husband and attempted to kill him before. But he got to his will quicker than Charlie. He was able to adjust it, and she got nothing. Let's see. Tyler knows as soon as Trump is out of power, he's going to prison. I believe it, man. He's already been pardoned one time. Y'all can't forget that. He's been pardoned by Trump already. You know, Charlie has said before that if Kamala was elected, they was going to put Charlie in jail. I don't know what he got himself into, but I'm pretty sure it's something with Tyler Boyer and others. So, yeah. Think Erica brought these weirdos around CK. She did. She brought all these weirdos around CK. I think all them Turning Point Faith people, all them folks, yeah. And then Tyler Boyer brought all of these, like the Andrew Colvetts, and I wouldn't say directly Andrew Colvett, but all those people Charlie was surrounded with was snakes. Andrew Colvett, Tyler Boyer brought Erica around Charlie. So like these people just set up shop and position around their bait. They're somebody that they was preying on. Yeah. Yeah. Nick Shirley is not related to Tyler Robinson, but he is related to Phil Lyman through the Shumways. Well, there we go. There's some better information for whoever was asking about that earlier. If CK was so close to Donald Trump and JD, why wouldn't they be investigating this and keeping the public informed and they would get to the bottom of it? Cricket's not a word. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. It goes to show you that they are in on it, that our own administration is in on this, which should be very crazy and scary for a lot of people. Not like scary, like fear-mongering type thing, but just realizing how far our government will go to shut us up. Man, and so that's what makes you think, right? The university would have been shut down. I'm thinking Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't even make sense. There's no reason for me to even go in on all that. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm almost certain if their plan had gone according to the plan, that crime scene would have been preserved for at least a week just for dramatic effect. Absolutely. But so many things went wrong. So many different little pieces of evidence was dropped and all of that exposed. So yeah, they had to go crazy. They had to improvise on their plan. Oh yeah. Lance does go by Luna now. I saw that. Here after the BLB Live. Welcome, Black Line Crew. I appreciate y'all for always joining in the late night yap session. I got to go check it out, what y'all yapped about today, what y'all talked about today. Yeah, 22K. Come on. We on the way. Please hit the sub button. We got 90 people in here, and I know one of y'all ain't hit the sub button. It's cool. It's cool. If you just like to watch and not sub, you can just be weird like that. That's cool. I'm just saying, I would prefer you to show some love while you here. So you can hit the sub. Yes, I am begging. I am begging. Because I mean, like, why would you just watch and not sub? You know what I mean? It don't take no time. I'm getting to y'all's Lisa poll as well. I haven't it's still going on right now. Oh my gosh. Y'all are funny. Uh-oh. I'm starting to assume what it's looking like over there on the polls. I can't even see it until I end it. Lisa never asked one question to get a better understanding of why people question Erica. Yeah, she didn't. She didn't. She was set on her side and she was sticking to it. I mean, I don't know if y'all, I can't say I don't know if y'all saw, y'all probably didn't see, but she sided with Victor Marks over Candace. I think at the end of the day, she just has a vendetta against Candace. I think if it was Big Jeff, right? If it was Big Jeff versus Candace, I think she might come out of nowhere and say, you know what? Mr. Einstein wasn't that bad of a guy. Because I just think she got something against Candace. The fact that she sided with Victor Marks over Candace. No words. Do you have an email for sending you a tip? I do, but I don't even like remember because it's on my TikTok. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it is on my TikTok. It is like right in the little links, and you probably see it. So I can't remember right now, but if you happen to find the TikTok, it is there. His favorite animal is a platypus. It is actually a dog. She knows nothing about Charlie. Bro, it is so funny how everybody's like, dog, do I know your husband more than you do? Charlie says you wasn't in politics, but Tyler Boyer says that Charlie said that she would make a great president. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Wow, we are at 98 people in here. Let's end the poll of Lisa so that way we can see what the word is. Just so everybody can hear what it says. Let's see. All right. Really? Have Lisa Knowles on the show. 41% of people said yes. What does that say? 29% of people said no, and 30% of people said hell no. So that's 2 nights in a row. Yeah, 2 nights technically in a row of y'all saying yes, bring her on. I don't know if y'all about to grill her or y'all just want to listen to what she has to say. But I mean, hey, if that's what y'all want to listen to, I don't mind. Yeah, I got patience. So I don't mind at all. It really doesn't bother me whatsoever. I know what to expect. So I don't mind. If that's what y'all want, then we can make it happen. What's today? Going into Friday. We'll see. The video of Charlie saying that his outtake his South Park appearance. Right. Charlie was a fan of the trolls. She makes my skin crawl seriously. It's so hard to watch her. Yeah, I went back to watch to look at the old comments on the last open discussion with Lisa Knowles, and a lot of y'all was supportive, but y'all was like, man, I had to turn it off, bro. I couldn't listen to her any longer. So I'm just trying to find that middle ground. You know what I mean? I don't want to do anything that the Yap community doesn't want to hear or tolerate or do. Yes, obviously it's my show, but I'm not like that. I'm not somebody that's gonna be like, I don't care what y'all have to say. Like, nah, bro. I want everybody to feel welcome and safe space, and it's like, oh, it's something I want to listen to. I'm all for that. Something I want to listen to is something that I would be interested in hearing or whatever. I definitely take y'all's opinion serious. Y'all are supporters of the show, so why wouldn't I? He want his wife working 80-hour weeks in danger with 2 of their own kids to raise. Yeah, I mean, Charlie would clearly Charlie wanted it that way, right? I mean, he wanted her to be CEO, even though he felt like he was gonna die. It was just a great idea. According to Turning Point USA, everything that's going on right now to Erica it was all in Charlie's plan. He wanted this to happen. Even though he was publicly saying that she should just stay home with the kids, watch the kids. But hey, apparently Charlie was the liar. Yeah, I wonder if I forget, what is it called? Smart feed, super feed, something like that. I wonder if Charlie knew that Tyler Boyer and Erica's mom had a company together. Maybe, you know what I mean? Some people be into stuff like that. You know what I mean? I wonder if Charlie Kirk knew that Erica used to date Cabot Phillips and he's super affiliated, with Cabot Phillips. I wonder if Charlie knew that. Some people be into stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, you walking around and you talking to a guy that used to be with your wife, and I don't know. You know what I mean? Me personally, no. I'm not saying that you can't have a past, but like, I got a picture with him playing basketball. Right? I got this picture with Cabot Phillips playing basketball. He's affiliated with Turning Point. I probably don't want to know that he got history with you. Which one is it? Did Charlie not know, or was Charlie into stuff like that? What do I think their next move will be? My guess is that Donald Trump wants her close to him, but I don't know why. I don't know. She's been very low key ever since, nobody bought her. I got death threats going to UGA and the White House dinner shooting. Nobody's buying that. You know what I mean? So I think they're going to still continue to try pushing for situations where she's the victim and they want everybody to feel bad for her. Because because that's her only identity. She's a victim. That's the only identity she has. Without her being a victim, without her being a widow, she is nothing. As far as like worth putting on TV. But the only reason they're putting her on TV is because she's Charlie's widow. So I think they're going to try something else to regain control over the narrative surrounding her name. I've said this quite a few times, but I hope it doesn't happen. But I feel like somebody's going to come out and attempt to do something. And then they're going to, it's kind of like another Patsy in a way. And they're going to be like, oh, I wanted to do it because I listened to Candace every day and I was brainwashed. And then everybody's going to be like, of course you're going to come out and say that that's why you did it. When in reality, Turning Point USA probably hired a crazy man to pretend like he was going to do something to Erica just so they could regain control over the narrative that she's a victim. I think they would go that far. Or, you know, her mom is very sick. Something might happen to her mom. So then they might pull that card of like, you know, who are you to talk about her when her mom just left this earth or something. Tyler James Robinson was never supposed to turn himself in. He literally effed the whole plan by realizing he was involved in some shiz and thwarted the whole thing. They went into full panic mode. Yeah, absolutely. He definitely was supposed to get off in some type of shootout or something. Was waiting for Queensland to be on the map. LOL subbing now. Yeah, you see it. You see it. I got it over there. Just found you and subscribed. I appreciate that. I like that. A woman or a man with a plan. I appreciate you for watching for a little bit after just finding me and subbing. I appreciate that. It goes a long way. No, Lisa just is one of those people that is dying for Erica's attention. Yeah, you know, it's so tough because I'm gonna keep voting. I'm gonna keep voting, but you know, can't make everybody happy. I guess I don't know what we're gonna do. I might, you know, I think I gotta honor the vote, so I think we might do one more vote tomorrow when we go live or something like that, maybe. You know, and my guess, to be honest, I think a lot of people are like similar to me, and I'm like, bro, somebody has to be paying you. When she was on the show last time, everybody was like, bro, somebody's paying you. She was like, I'm not getting paid by Turning Point USA, blah, blah. I think personally, after, you know, it was revealed that Gary is somewhat of a Fed, him getting all that money from the Department of Defense. I think Gary pays Lisa. I think Gary pays Lisa, and that's why Lisa's like, Turning Point don't pay me. Andrew Kovac don't pay me. Erica don't pay me. I think Gary pays her. Because those two are the only two people that come out and just defend. Even when they look like fools, they just defend. And no human being in this world would ever defend the way they are defending for free. Just not buying it. Not buying it. Especially when they look crazy sometimes. Like Andrew Kovac, knowing that picture was not of her kids, but sent it to Gary anyway. It made Gary look like a fool. Because Gary probably like, shoot, I never seen her kids before. They probably are her kids. And the fact that he looked like a fool after that, but he's still defending Andrew Kovac and Erica. It's like, yeah, bro, you're getting paid to do that. It's not normal. Lisa can't be reasoned with. She's a robot. You will gain nothing by getting involved. Don't platform that narrow-minded robot. We'll vote again. We'll vote again tomorrow. He would come across my TikTok page and I followed. Tonight I realized from his TikTok he was on here and I followed. I appreciate that. Another sub. I appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. Did I hear that Lance's testimony will be a video and not in person? Something isn't right about Lance. Does Lance even exist? Lance is a Fed. Lance is a Fed. Lance is a federal informant. Because there is no way Lance is just some regular guy that had a crazy boyfriend and then somehow he's tampering with evidence, right? He's burning up the note, all this other crazy stuff. And then Lance is the one that goes into protective custody. Why isn't he, an accomplice? An accomplice. He goes into protective custody. We don't hear from him for a while. I think Lance put that Discord message together. If it's real, the fact that Lance is such a key piece to this whole thing, and they can't even bring him in. Yeah, I think he's a federal informant. Fun fact, Victor Marks put a tracking device in Corby Hall's car. I have the receipts and the pictures. Oh my gosh, Crystal, you are on it, man. You've had an amazing week. I'm loving this, Crystal. The Crystal is dropping bomb after bomb after bomb. I don't mind looking at it. Send whatever you want. I'm loving whatever you're doing right now. Jed, I appreciate you for supporting the channel. Thank you for the dono. You got to add the no and the hell no together. Oh my gosh. Clearly y'all are fans of Lisa. She's a fan of the show. Duh. I don't even know why I didn't think of that. It's probably because I'm half asleep right now. Yeah. I'm tweaking. I didn't even add those two together. But yeah, y'all are right. I wasn't even like, y'all see my reaction anyway. I was like, maybe we should do it again. Maybe we should vote again. I thought yes won. I was like, maybe we should vote again. But yeah, I'm tweaking. Add both of them together, and obviously they outweigh the yes. So, or maybe I don't know. Am I tweaking? What did I say? 41 was yes. I don't know. Am I tweaking? Yes or no? Who y'all would know. Look, come on now. Y'all should know. I got the excuse, right? I'm yapping and I'm tired at the same time. I ain't even thinking about audition. Look, they said no wins, and you said yes one. Which one is it? The poll reached 59% saying Lisa knows. Okay, cool. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking. I literally was just, the hell no was funny to me. Little did I know the hell no is also a percentage. So yeah, I wish it showed me what it was. I can't even go back and look. Oh, here you go. Here you go. Ah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, 59% is no. Okay. Wasn't even thinking at all. I was just laughing at the hell no. 59% is the no. 41% is the yes. Bro, y'all are funny. Y'all are funny. It's so funny because I'm so behind on the comments that y'all was cooking me for the last 10 minutes and I had no clue. And I'm just now seeing it. From Australia, the land down under. You over there. I got you. Oh man, come on. We don't need to be arguing. We don't need to be arguing. We're on the same team here. We're on the same team. I think we all collectively said hell no. I think we can all say that. You split the no in half. Yeah, that's on me. That's on me. That's on me. That's on me. I should have known. I ain't even think about that. I probably should have took a little bit more of my energy drink. Look, hey. Yeah. Save me a little headache. It's all good. Oh, don't be going at Buffy, man. We all confused. It's 1 a.m. For me. I don't know if y'all on the East Coast. It's 1 a.m. We all tired. We all tired. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Just a little, you know what I mean? Clerical error on my end. I probably should never have split up the nose. That's on me. Oh man. All right. I got through them all. That was fun. I definitely enjoyed doing that. I enjoy doing that every single time. Y'all cracking me up. Oh my gosh. But I appreciate y'all for listening in and yapping as well on another episode of the Daily Yap. I believe this was episode 18. So I appreciate y'all as usual. So make sure you guys hit the like button before you guys head out of here and go to sleep for the night. Make sure you guys hit the sub button. Again, we're on the road to 22K. I appreciate all the support along the way. I believe we are at 21.5. Yeah, so we working our way up in the world. 21.5, halfway to 22. So please hit the sub button before you get out of here if you haven't subbed already. But I hope y'all have a beautiful night. Don't know if it's morning, don't know if it's still the night for you, but I hope y'all have a beautiful night. We will probably be on live again one more time, maybe two more times this week. Maybe tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 1 or 2 of the 3 days. But turn your notifications on so that way you can be notified when the live is created for an upcoming episode. So turn on your notifications as well. But outside of that, I hope you have a great night, and I will see y'all on the next one.